Republicans and future Republicans!
Welcome to a brand new video. Elon Musk and Donald Trump are beefing. They're going mad. Trump just did an interview with the current Chancellor of Germany. There is an insane drama going on right now, and it's kind of wild. Kind of crazy wild, insano style. We are going to be covering that because we do enjoy the occasional beef and drama. We call and we do that whenever time is right. So currently, Trump is meeting up with the Chancellor of Germany. Apparently, Elon tweeted, "Without me, Trump would have lost the election, Dems would control the House, and Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. Such ingratitude." This is crazy. This is actually crazy. Holy balls, it's crazy. So lock in, boys and girls. We are about to dive into some of the wildest drama of the modern era. I personally have a hot take. My hot take is the following. I think disagreements are okay. I think it is perfectly fine for people to disagree with each other. In fact, I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing that people aren't just 100% purely audience captured to the point that they're actually going to lose their mind. So let's crack open a beer, baby, and let's have a crazy time. The world is shaking right now. This just happened.
Absolutely, sure. So to let you know, this is the birth certificate of Donald Trump's grandfather.
Damn!
Born in 1869, close to Bad Dirk, right?
Congratulations, Donald Trump. Your father managed to get born at the right time. Just about 14 years after the end of World War II.
Yeah. That's called. And his name was.
Bro, holy moly. Dude brought Trump's father's birth certificate framed? Oh, Lord, the glazoning. Dude, this is some crazy drama. Oh, Lord.
That's serious German.
Serious German.
That's serious. Bad Durkheim is serious. But I want to thank you very much for, first of all, I want to thank you for that. That's why thank you very much.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something that, I don't even know, if I should tell you this because I feel like it's not right, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So my grandfather, Holocaust survivor, actually knew Trump's dad and have made German jokes to the guy. Like, he told him, if you were born 15 years earlier, you would have tried to kill me. Kind of jokes. Anyway, moving on. Pay no attention to that.
Yeah, fantastic. We'll put it up in a place of honor. Yeah. Maybe we can, let's see. We'll put it
All right.
It's an honor to have you. As you know, the Chancellor just won a great election. Very, very strong election.
Yep.
A very respected man. I can tell you, we've been on the phone many times talking about some of the problems of the world outside of Germany. And it's very sad what's going on. We both feel that way. What's going on with Russia.
I mean, there is drama in regards to his win, right? Like, the fact that they cucked his opponents, his political opponents. Like, I get Trump has to say this, but Germany's in, a really bad spot right now. In my opinion. Anyway, we'll see.
And other things we talk about.
I covered the Germany drama a week ago, or a couple of weeks ago, if you want to see.
Russia, Ukraine in particular. I'd like to see it end, and maybe it'll end. But we get some news, there'll be some fighting. Something happened a couple of days ago, and now they do a return, and here it goes. It's not good. He's unhappy about it. I'm unhappy about it. But I think eventually we're going to be successful in stopping the bloodshed. It's pure bloodshed. 5,000-6,000 young soldiers a week are being killed. You know that those numbers
we know them.
They're staggering. They're staggering numbers. But Chancellor, I just want to congratulate you, and I want to welcome you to the Oval Office.
Thank you.
It's an Oval Office that's in very good shape. We like fixing things up and having them tippy-top like they have in Germany.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Much. And we do it here. We're having a very good run. I also had a great election, great win, won everything. Won the popular vote, all 7 swing states.
All 7 swing states! All 7 swing states! That's how it is! All the popular vote, red for Republican. He does it every time! I even won my election without jailing my political opponents. How about you guys in Germany? Have you been doing any of that? Have you been... Oh, bro is not comfortable in that room.
Which is a big deal. Yeah. It's pretty unusual to do that. And we have a great mandate.
It's pretty unusual. My victory was big. It was huge. The biggest victory. Kind of unusual how big it was. It was a big victory. I don't remember the last time there's been quite the flex like that. They even tried to cheat, but too big to rig. I didn't say it, they said it.
From the people, and part of our mandate is we're going to have a great relationship with your country.
Nice.
So I just want to thank you very much for being here, and if you'd like to say a few words.
Absolutely. Thank you, first of all, Mr. President, for your kind invitation to come to Washington, D.C. I was in this building first time ever in 1982. I told you, when former President Ronald Reagan was in office. So I'm very happy to be here again and to offer our close cooperation with the United States of America. We are having so much in common, our history. We owe the Americans a lot. We will never forget about that. And so with your German provenance, I think this is a very good basis for close cooperation between America and Germany. So again, thank you. Thank you for the hospitality and thank you for having your guest house for a night. This is a great place. Great place. Many thanks for that. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
It's a wonderful place. It's a landmark also. And Blair House.
We'll see.
It's a nice place to stay. Thank you very much for saying that. Would you have any questions, please?
Mr. President, on your new travel ban...
Bro, they were so ready. They literally popped off. There is no way dude was literally ready. Oh my god, that's crazy. Holy schmoly. My god.
Why now? And if the Boulder attack was part of your reasoning, why not include Egypt on that list where the suspect is from?
That's a good question. For those of you that are unaware, there was a travel ban just put on a lot of different countries in the United States of America. They said, all right, we are not taking people in from countries that are directly violent to the United States. Everyone's gonna freak out about this shit, but I actually agree with it, personally. I think that the number one goal of the United States is to protect the citizens of the United States. If Egypt gets a lot of travel, the travel ban is for people from those countries to come into the United States. I think that as long as Trump is operating on an American first policy, he will be a great president. I actually fully believe that. And that involves protecting all the citizens of the United States of America. And quite frankly, people that are not citizens of the United States get second-rate treatment. And people are going to say, I can't believe it. I can't believe this shit's happening. You are not having empathy for people that are scared. With all due respect, your government should be taking care of you, okay? We are banning every country where the most common name is Mohammed. No, I'm joking. He didn't say that yet.
Well, because Egypt has been a country that we deal with very closely. They have things under control. The countries that we have don't have things under control. And why now? I can say that it can't come soon enough, frankly. We want to keep bad people out of our country.
Based?
The Biden administration...
Biden! They let people in. They came from mental asylums. They came from institutions.
...allowed some...
Oh my god, dude. Trump is going to be like, we are banning every Islamic country. Libya. Pakistan. England.
Horrendous people, and we're getting them out one by one, and we're not stopping until we get them out. We have thousands of murderers.
Murderers, rapists pouring over the border. They're coming from asylums, mental institutions. You know, other countries are low on crime. You know why? Because they put all of their criminals in ours.
To say this in front of the Chancellor. Of course, you have a little problem, too, with some of the people that were allowed.
Yeah, no fucking shit. Germany's a hellhole right now. Dude, he's talking about travel bans, and he's talking about, like, violent immigrants and stuff. And, dude, you literally have a guy sitting next to you that is, like, one of the most open border policies in the history of borders. Or lack of borders.
It's not your fault.
Not your fault. You inherited the problem. Not so different, you and I. Bro, he sounds a little like the Joker.
Your fault. It shouldn't have happened. I told her.
Never would have happened if I was president.
It shouldn't have happened what she did. But you have your own difficulty with that, and we do, and we're moving them out.
Bro, but Germany's like a whole other level of retarded in this regard. I mean, no offense to all my German homies in the audience. I love you guys. But I'll be real. Every time there's a Christian gathering, and there is a violent, illegal immigrant that murders someone at the Christian gathering, the newspapers say, far-right gathering causes violence. And that's insanity. Every time I see a headline like that, it makes me want to shoot myself in the penis twice. Okay? I'll be real. It's horrible. It's like absolutely infuriating that the media is going to twist shit like that.
We're moving them out very strongly, but it can't come fast enough. We want to get them out. We want to get them out now. We don't want to have other bad people coming into our country. By using the word bad, I'm being nice. Okay?
It's a distraction.
You put out on Truth Social a post regarding your conversation with President Xi.
Right.
Can you talk about whether or not you feel that trade talks, trade relations are back on track after appearing to be a little bit off track last week?
A little bit off track. It was only the complexity. It's pretty complex stuff. We had a very good conversation with President Xi a little while ago, just before your arrival. In fact, we just hung up, and they said, "You're here." I said, "That's pretty good." Two great leaders of the world in a very short period of time.
Oh my God.
We had a very good talk.
Look at us, just two great leaders, just two of us, great people in our own right.
And we've straightened out any complexity. It's very complex stuff, and we straightened it out. The agreement was we're going to have Scott and Howard and Jameson will be going and meeting with their top people and continue it forward. But no, I think we have everything. I think we're in very good shape with China and the trade deal. We have a deal with.
All right,
as
we'll
you
see.
know, but
I'm
we were
excited.
straightening out some of the points, having to do mostly with rare earth magnets and some other.
Dude, no one fucking ever heard of rare earth until Trump walked in. I'm just saying, okay? Literally no one ever heard of rare earth. No one was like, China, if only they would give us some of their rare earth. No one ever even thought of this before.
So those reduced trade tariff rates, they
I feel like they've invented this shit, all right? They invented it for this presidency.
remain in effect.
Yeah, we have the deal. I mean, we've had a deal. We announced the deal, and I guess you could say, I wouldn't even say finalizing it up, Scott. I would say we have a deal, and we're going to just make sure that everybody understands what the deal is. Okay. We had a really good conversation. By the way, he invited me to China, and I invited him here. We're both accepted, so I'll be going there. And the First Lady at a
that's
certain
cool.
point, he'll be coming here, hopefully, with the First Lady of China.
The First Lady of China. What a magnificent woman. They call her the seventh man and the first woman.
Did you talk about the Chinese students?
Oh, now we get into Nux territory. I love the fact that they are butt-fucking students in universities. It's my favorite thing that they're doing recently. It is my favorite thing that they are doing recently. I'm not even exaggerating. I love it so much. These universities were dog shit. The universities were cringe and lame and gay. All of the things. They were pathetic. And you know what they actually just discovered? Let me actually scroll down a little bit. I actually saved this because I knew that you would appreciate it. I saved it for you because I love you guys. You're my homies, my bros, and my brothers. Article from the New York Post. Columbia protester had direct link to Hamas's deadly Al-Qassam Brigade's militant group, according to the Department of Justice. Everyone's been saying this for a very long time. There are foreign nationals that are manipulating things in the government, and people were like, what do you mean? It's peaceful protests. Not anymore. Miss me with that shit. It's over. It's over. I'm so glad people are looking into this. Oh my God. Hassan crying.
Oh, yeah.
Hassan literally crying right now. Doctors and engineers and terrorists.
No, wait. Chinese students are coming. No problem. No problem.
Oh?
It's our honor to have them, frankly. Look, we want to have foreign students, but we want them to be checked. You know, in the case of Harvard,
Understandable. He's right.
and others, all we want to do is see their list. There's no problem with that. This is anybody outside of our country, international students. Because when we see some of the people that we've been watching, we say, where do these people come from? How is that possible? No, we want to have foreign students come.
Yeah.
Very honored by it.
Yeah,
but
sure.
We want to see their list. Harvard
Honored.
didn't want to give us the list. They're going to be giving us the list now. I think they're starting to behave, actually, if you want to know.
That is amazing. That's amazing. Bro, we threatened them and suddenly they behave. Wow, it's almost like enforcement of the law actually works. Crazy to even think about it. Dude, they needed to do this shit like yesterday. Every time you see someone directly inciting violence or providing material support to terrorism, those fuckers should get punished. They should.
Yeah, please.
See, I am like a normal guy. I have no fear of being arrested on, thoughts of treason. I don't wake up in the morning with that fear, okay? Because I am like the average guy in America. Like, what are we doing here? If you are waking up with the fear every day that you might get arrested for terrorism, then motherfucker, you are a problem.
Are you willing to put more pressure on Putin to end the war?
Yeah, Putin.
Well, remember, I'm the one that ended Nord Stream 2.
Let's also remember that the war never would have started if I was president.
Going to a place called Germany, come to think of it. I'm sorry.
No, he knew what he was doing. Oh, come on, he makes believe that it was an accident. He knew exactly what he was doing. He is flexing his schmeat. He's like, listen, okay, so right now, Europe kind of seems like they want to keep the war between Russia and Ukraine going, and Trump really wants it to end. That's kind of the major dilemma from my analysis that I've seen. You got Trump being like, we gotta end the war, never would have started if I was president, we make concessions, we make peace, and then the people in Germany are like, we want this war won, we want to win, we want victory, the Russians will never get away with this.
But I ended Nord Stream 2, nobody else did. And then when Biden came in, he immediately approved it. That's essentially the largest pipeline in the world, going to Germany and other countries. And by the way, we have so much oil and gas.
No, we don't. I'm not saying that the citizens in Europe want that. I think that the people in charge of Europe kind of want that. The people in charge of Europe are pushing this shit. They are. They literally are. Endless money to Ukraine, endless soldiers that they're considering starting to recruit and starting to employ. Like, let's be real. Let's be real. I think that the people in charge of Europe are heavily into the idea of breaking up Russia. It kind of seems that way. It does. I have not seen a single person in Europe in a leadership position actually get up and be like, yo, y'all went too far. People are dying. I know shit's gonna be messy, but let's make peace. I haven't seen a single European leader do that. None.
You will not be able to buy it all. I mean, you literally, we have so much, and I hope we're going to make that a part of our deal because we have more.
We have so much money, so many weapons. It's not easy to be us, overflowing with weaponry and power.
Than anybody else. We have actually the most, by far, in the world, probably double what anyone else has. So we'll work on that. I'm sure that's something we'll discuss today.
Yes, Nux, let's end the war and leave thousands of children kidnapped by Russians. It's almost like you weren't listening at all to what I was saying. But good point. Good point. I was saying what Trump is fighting for, and then I was saying what Europe was fighting for. When did I say that anything that we should do? Did I come up with the solution to the world? Are Putin and Zelensky on my fucking WhatsApp chat who are trying to figure this shit out immediately? It's like, oh, you keep 47 children, but return the rest. No, I'm not saying anything, okay? I have zero power. I'm a blue retard on the internet making fun of bigger retards on the internet.
Mr. President,
What do you expect from Germany and what do you expect from the Chancellor?
Well, first of all, I'm glad to meet because I've been dealing with the Chancellor, and he's very he's difficult, I would say. Can I say that? It's a positive.
Go ahead.
You wouldn't want me to say you're easy, right? He's a very great representative of Germany. I think all we want...
Not easy. He didn't even spread his legs the first time I asked him.
...is just going to have a good relationship. The rest will just sort of follow very easily. We'll have a good trade deal. I mean, I guess that will be mostly determined by the European Union.
Yeah, true.
You'll be involved. But we'll end up hopefully with a trade deal or we'll do something. You know, we'll do the tariffs. I mean, I'm okay with the tariffs or we make a deal with the trade. And I guess that's what we're discussing now.
yeah. Mr. President.
Dude, Musk is actually crashing out on Twitter literally right now. Oh my God. I am actually so excited. Okay, we're going to cover all of Musk's responses after this speech.
Please, go ahead.
Mr. President?
No, not you.
Is Germany enough on defense, Mr. President? Is Germany doing enough on defense?
What?
Defense spending.
Is Germany doing enough on defense?
The Chancellor wants to.
Is Germany doing enough?
The Chancellor wants to spend 3.5.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I haven't discussed it very much. I know that you're spending more money on defense now, and quite a bit more money. That's a positive thing. I'm not sure that General MacArthur would have said it's positive. You know, wouldn't like it, but I sort of think it's good. You understand what I mean by that?
I understand.
He made a statement: "Never let Germany rearm." And I said, I always think about that when he says, "Sir, we're spending more money on defense." I say, "Oh, is that a good thing or a bad thing?" I think it's a good thing.
All right.
But you know, at least to a certain point.
I love how he's
There'll
like.
be a point when I'll say, "Please don't arm anymore if you don't mind." We'll be watching.
I love how he's talking about this literally in front of the Chancellor of Germany. Like, that's actually insane. Remember the Nazis? Wow, those guys were lame and gay. I really didn't like any of them. Tacky outfits too.
Yeah, Biden. You said Biden.
He just hears Biden. No matter what, if someone says Biden somewhere, Biden, I will shit on him now.
Your autopen investigations and made all the decisions during the presidency. I'm curious your reaction to his dismissal.
Well, look, the autopen I think is the big scandal.
Oh my God! I love when he calls this out because I agree. I want to know who ran the American country for 4 years. From 2020 to 2024, I want to know who ran the country. I do. I really do. I want to know who ran the country.
Outside of the rigged election of 2020, I think
Oh, he's still going. He's still going.
biggest scandal of the last many years is the
Other than stealing the election is the fact that we don't know who stole the election.
autopen and who's using it. I happen to think I know. Okay,
Oh,
because
shit.
I'm here, and I'm not a big autopen person.
Drop it.
fortunately.
Drop
I'm
the
glad.
info.
It's
Drop
an
the
easy way
deets.
out. But
Dude, whoever fucking did that shit is sweating, man.
it's a very bad thing, very dangerous. You know, I sign important documents. Usually when they put documents in front of you, they're important. Even if you sign ships and I consider that important. I think it's inappropriate. You have somebody that's devoting 4 years of their life or more to being an ambassador. I think you really that person deserves to get a real signature, not an autopen signature. And
Old school classy guy.
I can tell autopen easily.
Come on,
I
Trump.
can look at it.
Come on, Donald.
Like two little pinholes.
Leak that
from
shit.
pulling the paper, right? You always see the pinholes. It's real easy to tell about autopen. I think it's very disrespectful to people when they get an autopen signature. Outside, autopen to me are used when thousands of letters come in from young people all over the country and you want to get them back. And, people use autopens for that, to send a little signature at the bottom of a letter where you have thousands of them. We get thousands of letters a week, and it's not possible to, do. I'd like to do it myself, but you can't do it. To me, that's where autopens start and stop. But I don't think,
Dude, I want the Epstein files. I want the autopen info. Come on, man. Release that. You can't just gargle us, you drag us by the balls like this, my guy, my brother. Come on, dude.
I'm sure that he didn't know many of the things. Look, he was never for open borders. He was never for transgender for everybody. He was never for...
Biden hypocrisy is kind of crazy. Transgender for everybody. You get a penis. You get a penis.
Men playing in women's sports. I mean, he changed. I mean, all of these...
Of course he changed. He had no brain. His necromancers brought him to work every day and told him what policies needed to be enforced. And that was literally it. Like, guys, stop. Stop. No one thinks this is normal. No one thinks it's normal for biological men and women's sports. No one does. No one thinks that's normal. Okay? Aside from some fringe retards with no brains, no one else thinks it's a normal thing. Okay? I'm just gonna say it. I know it's a controversial statement. No one wants to hear it. No one wants to hear it. But no one thinks it makes sense. I'm telling you that shit's just done to manipulate people. It's done. It's like some massive corralling strategy because it's actually retarded.
Things that changed so radically. I don't think he had any idea that what was, frankly, I said it during the debate and I say it now, he didn't have much of an idea what was going on.
Mr. President.
He shouldn't be, I mean, essentially whoever used the autopen was the president.
Yeah.
And that is wrong, it's illegal, it's so bad, and it's so disrespectful to our country.
Mr. President.
Mr. President, will you lead your troops in Germany? And if I may ask a question to the Chancellor to answer in German for the German audience, how has your first encounter been?
All right.
The answer is yes. We'll talk about that, but if they'd like to have them there, yeah.
Oh, did you see? It's shock. Look, I'm no body language expert, but that dude jumped.
The answer is yes.
Look at him.
Talk about that, but if they'd like to have
Boom!
them there, yeah.
Fixes his tie. Holy shit! You saw the load off his shoulders.
We have a lot of them, about 45,000. It's a lot of troops. It's a city, when you think of it. That's good economic development. They're highly paid troops, and they spend a lot of money in Germany.
Remember when Kamala Harris said that there were no American troops outside of America? Dude, we dodged the biggest fucking bullet. Trump dodged a bullet, and so did the country. Trump dodged the bullet, and so did all of us. I have to find you this clip, because it might be the most insane shit of all time. Bro, this is one of my favorite clips on the internet.
Well, I will tell you, I agreed with President Biden's decision to pull out of Afghanistan. 4 presidents said they would, and Joe Biden. And as a result, America's taxpayers are not paying the $300 million a day we were paying for that endless war. And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world. The first time this century. What? But let's understand.
So where the fuck are we right now?
This is my favorite clip on the internet. I love this clip, man. It's so good. It's like a bunch of troops listening to Kamala Harris debating for president and being like, nah, dude, I don't know. There's no one outside of America.
But the relationship with Germany is very important. Yeah, we'll be doing that. No problem.
May I say few words in German?
Yes, please.
So, danke für die Frage. Wir sind hier im Weißen Haus. Ich bedanke mich
Weißen Haus. Dude, I love German. Such a cool language.
Für den sehr freundlichen Empfang im Oval Office in diesem weltweiten Raum. Ich freue mich sehr, hier zu sein. Und wir bereiten eine Funk unserer Zusammenarbeit vor. Ich freue mich sehr darüber.
Mr. President, Mr. President,
you speak English because you speak such good English. Is it as good as your German, would you say? No, do you feel more comfortable?
No, it's not my mother tongue, but I try to understand almost everything and to speak as good as I can.
Very good.
Listen, I'll be real. I understand a little German because I speak Yiddish. So I actually do understand German pretty much. It's kind of great. It's kind of great because no one expects it. And then you hit them with some horribly mispronounced words about gefilte fish and they lose their shit.
Mr. President, you've made
Mr.
President, thank you, Mr. President. The criticism that I've seen, and I'm sure you've seen, regarding Elon Musk and your what's your reaction to that? Do you think it in any way hurts passage in the Senate, which is, of course, what is you're seeking?
Well, look, I've always liked Elon, and it's always very surprised. You saw the words he had for me, and he hasn't said anything about me that's bad. I'd rather have him criticize me than the bill, because the bill is incredible. It's the biggest cut in the history of our country. We've never cut. It's about 1.6 trillion in cuts. It's the biggest tax cut. You would say, people people's taxes will go way down, but it's the biggest tax cut in history. It's we are doing things in that bill that are unbelievable. And when you look at what we're doing for small businesses, for people, for middle-income people, all of the things that we're doing, nobody's ever seen anything like it. And you know, Elon's upset because we took the EV mandate, and you know, which was a lot of money for electric vehicles.
Oh my God!
And you know, they're having a hard time, the electric vehicles, and they billions of dollars in subsidy. And you know, Elon knew this from the beginning. He knew it for a long time ago. That's been in there. That's I would say that hasn't changed. That's been right.
Hey JD, I love when he calls him JD. JD, remember when you were in Germany and they were all giving you a hard time, and now they're here glazing mein Toxin sloshing is what we're doing.
Beginning, I think, Mr. Secretary, that hasn't changed at all, right from the beginning. But I know that disturbed him. He wanted, and rightfully, you know, he recommended somebody from that he, I guess, knew very well. I'm sure he respected him, but to run NASA, and I didn't think it was appropriate. And I happen to be a Democrat, like totally Democrat, and I say, you know, look, we won. We get certain privileges, and one of the privileges, we don't have to appoint a Democrat. NASA is very important. We have great people. General Kane is going to be picking somebody with our, we'll be checking him out, seeing, but he wanted that person, a certain person, and we said no. And you know, I can understand why he's upset. Remember, he was here for a long time. You saw a man who was very happy when he stood behind the Oval Desk.
Oh, shit.
And even with the black eye.
He's mentioning the black eye. Oh, Lord, we covered that. We actually just covered that video like a week ago. Oh, no.
Makeup, we'll get you a little makeup. But he said, no, I don't think so, which is interesting.
All right, no makeup. That's fine.
And
bro, oh, God, the beef is going to be legendary. The crash out's going to be insane.
Very nice. He wants to be who he is, so you could make that statement too, I guess.
I respect it.
Elon and I had a great relationship.
Had a great relationship?
I don't know if we're well anymore.
Oh, fuck. Oh, the content. Oh, endless content. It's insane. Oh, my God. See, I like Elon and I like Trump. So I am fully on board with this drama. It's going to be crazy. Holy drama, baby.
Surprised because you were here. Everybody in this room practically was here as we had a wonderful send-off. He said wonderful things about me. You couldn't have nicer.
True. He did do that.
He's worn the hat. Trump was right about everything. And I am right about the great, big, beautiful bill. We call it a great, big, beautiful bill because that's what it is.
All right, dude.
And again, biggest tax cuts in history, biggest economic development moves anywhere. We've never done anything like it. Business is spurred. And I don't know if you've seen the numbers, but the numbers came out. Even the CBO, which is run by Democrats, said that we're going to be doing. You know, I'd like you to discuss it. The 2.8 trillion that CBO. This is a group of people that are Democrats. They're very hostile to us. They just came out with phenomenal numbers. What it does. You want to mention that, Scott?
Yes.
Damn. Before we get into that, I got to see the Elon responses to this Trump thing on Twitter. Oh my God. So, false. This bill was never shown to me, even once, and was passed in the dead of night so fast almost no one in Congress could even read it. Oh my God, the beef is crazy. All right, so this is Elon quoting a Trump tweet from 2012 saying no member of Congress should be eligible for re-election if our country's budget is not balanced. Deficits not allowed. Uh-oh. Oh, drama. Dude. All right, he is still complimenting Trump. Doge. Democrats are calling Trump's decision to end federal funding for the California's high-speed rail heartless, and he does support Trump. All right, this is a brand new tweet also. So we got some really mixed reports, bro. We got some really mixed reports here. But he is really fucking mad about this. Oh my God. Dude, the craziest one. Without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House. Republicans would be 51-49. Ingratitude. Yikes. Bro. How is 35 years close? No, the train shit is bullshit. It's fantastic that Trump cut that shit. Oh my God. Wow. I personally think disagreements are good things. I think it's good that people disagree because I think that's the beauty of democracy. The beauty of democracy is a fight of ideals. You have freedom of speech. Everyone argues their points, and hopefully the best idea wins. That is my personal opinion and why I love this shit. But I have to say, this is awesome. So, from what I understand, Elon has been complaining about the big, beautiful bill for a while because the bill does cut taxes, but it also makes the deficit to the country. I don't even think it's about the EVs, right? I don't even think it's about the EVs, personally. Although I'm sure that does hurt Elon a lot. the fact that they're doing the EV cuts. I personally think that the big beautiful bill, it does cut regulations on AI, which I think is a bad choice. But mostly, I think it's Elon is complaining that it puts the country in more debt. However, in my opinion, it does put the country in more debt. However, I think it gets balanced out by tariffs and by U.S. aid cuts. And I do think that cutting the taxes for the average American is a better thing all in all. I don't know. I'm torn. I definitely see both sides on this, to be honest. But holy drama moly. This is going to work out. You're going to see. You ready for a really hot take? A really, really hot take? A really hot take? This is theater. We are watching theater. They're arguing over something that are definitely two sides to a very public issue. And I think that we are watching one of the craziest theaters of all time. Oven mitts on, gamers. Fuck hell yeah, let's go. It's gonna be exciting.
So what we've seen is we keep hearing from the CBO that there's going to be a large deficit from the bill, which we disagree with, but using the CBO scoring, they came out and scored the tariff revenue. We think it'll be the minimum of $2.8 trillion over the 10-year window, which actually puts the bill in surplus if you include the tariff revenue, which they won't do.
It gives you a tremendous surplus, but we're not allowed to use that. For some reason, they say scoring. Nobody knows what scoring means. Maybe a couple of people, but nobody. Somebody sits in the background, they say, well, we're not going to allow that. They're not allowing other things that we have that are tremendously profitable for our country. But if you saw the other day, CNBC, they came out with numbers, and the people on the show, very good people, I've watched them for a long time, they couldn't believe the numbers, how good they are. The numbers were incredible, and that was personal income.
I guess we'll see. We'll see how this goes.
Inflation. We have very low inflation. We're down to 2% now, and maybe even lower than that. And when I took it over, it was a mess. Remember, we had the worst inflation probably in the history of our country. They say 48 years, but let's say I think it's worse than that. So we had the worst inflation in the history of our country under the Biden administration. Now we're down to a beautiful number, 2%. You'd actually like to keep it there. Better than
that's
zero
crazy.
is 2%. It's going down maybe to 1.
That is insane.
And 1% is like perfect. That's perfect. You don't want to have zero for certain reasons that nobody is very interested to listen to. But we have almost perfect inflation. Grocery prices are down. Everything. Remember eggs? Eggs. We weren't going to buy another egg for the next 20 years. They were so expensive, right? Remember?
Yep.
You guys all hit me about eggs. Eggs
Yeah.
have come down 400%. Everybody has eggs now. They're having eggs for breakfast again. But if you look at gasoline, very important.
It's
I
down.
think always the most important because it's the energy is the biggest factor. That's what happened. He screwed up our energy policy, and everything went up because energy went up.
I cannot believe that the autopen would ruin the energy policy in the country.
Now energy is way down, and they have states where you're at $1.98 a gallon for gasoline. So the costs have come way down, and one of the things I ran on was that. I ran on the border. We have the best border in the history of our country. 99.
The issue with the big beautiful bill for me is the fact that I feel like there's so many parts to it, and I agree with, I'd say, 99% of it. Like, from what I've seen, I agree with 99% of the big beautiful bill. But that's the problem. The problem is the fact that they couldn't divorce it into multiple different decisions. Like, most of the things that the big beautiful bill does are super fucking good. But, you know.
9.99%. It was...
promises made.
Last week,
Promises
3 people
kept.
came in. 2 of them for medical reasons. We let them in because one of them had a heart attack. I think it was a nice thing to do, and one of them had something else. So we've never had... I had very good numbers for 4 years, but we really topped it. And I want to thank Christie and Tom Holman. They've done a fantastic job.
Yeah.
But nobody mentions that anymore. Remember, a few months ago, the border was a total disaster. People were coming in by the hundreds of thousands of people a day.
True.
A week. A
True.
month. I mean, we had a month, 2 million people came in 1 month. The border was being overrun, and a lot of bad people. Criminals, murderers, drug dealers. We had some of the worst people in the world coming in from all over the world. It's totally closed.
He's not wrong.
And you know what? People are coming into our country, but they're coming in legally. So we've done a great job. Elon knew that. Elon endorsed me very strongly. He actually went up and campaigned for me. I think I would have won. Susie would say I would have won Pennsylvania easily anyway.
Personally, I think Trump would have won even without Elon. I do think Elon made it a landslide, but I do think Trump would have won even without Elon.
Even if the governor ran.
Like, you just go outside and you talk to people in public, and it's like everyone in America wanted to change from the radical left shit that was going on. People just wanted that out. So I do think he would have won regardless. But No, absolutely. Elon contributed.
And the real governor, not the governor from Minnesota, he's a sick puppy, that guy. That poor guy feels sorry for him. But they made a bad choice with him.
Oh, God.
But if you pick Shapiro or anybody else, I spoke to him recently about his house being set on fire, which was terrible.
Oh,
but if they picked him, I would have won Pennsylvania. I won it by a lot. But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here.
Yikes.
Better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no...
Yikes, and he claims he never read it through. I don't know. I feel like this is going to be like a lost in translation kind of thing. In my opinion, I think Elon knew the vast majority of it. He just didn't actually read it through. So I don't think either of them are lying. I just think it's more of like an up to interpretation kind of thing.
Problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem.
And I don't like personally that Elon crashes out publicly like this. I just don't see how that's a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing, and he does it a lot. He did it with the video game, cheating in video games shit, you know? He did it with that. He's doing it now. Like, let's be real. He's done it before, and he's going to keep doing it. But I do like the fact that they disagree. I do actually like that they disagree on things. I think it's super important for the country.
He developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate because that's billions and billions of dollars, and it really is unfair. We want to have cars of all types. Electric, we want to have electric, but we want to have a gasoline combustion. We want to have different. We want to have hybrids. We want to have all. We want to be able to sell everything. And when that was cut, and Congress wanted to cut it, he became a little bit different, and I can understand that. But he knew every aspect of this bill. He knew it better than almost anybody.
All right.
And he never had a problem until right after he left. And if you saw the statements he made about me, which I'm sure you can get very easily, it's very fresh on tape. He said the most beautiful things about me. And he hasn't said bad about me.
Dude, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying to every single person that calls MAGA a cult, right? MAGA, it's a cult. It's such a cult out there. They don't disagree. They just homogenously follow along. Well, I guess they beat the cult allegations. That's why I say this might be theater. I think making it a big public crash out, I think, is very likely. It's a very theatrical thing. I don't know. I'm curious. I'm very curious what the actual strategy here is. However, it's entertaining as fuck. It's so entertaining.
Personally, but I'm sure that'll be next. But I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon.
Oh my God, bro, drop that one. Bro, the Elon as president people are going to be silent? No, they're going to be talking about how they were so excited that they're crashing out and arguing. But let me be real here. Every single person that called Elon the shadow government and used that to burn down his cars and protest and shit, they all made up something to get violent about. I think Elon is crashing out, and I do think it was a somewhat expected crash out. I think that realistically, all these fucking people, bro, calling it the shadow president. So first of all, they're wrong, and they should be held accountable for being that wrong, because it's probably some of the worst political rhetoric ever done in the United States of America, galvanizing people to burn his cars and his shops. I think it's another perfect instance of the far left actually being violent and actually using their influence to manipulate people into thinking there's a constitutional crisis. And I'll be real. It's kind of a vindication to see the fact that that's not happening. I think that most reasonable people saw it wasn't happening, but now it's incredibly obvious. Anyway, let's see how this goes. I'm excited to see how this turns out.
Mr. President, I just want to clarify, did he raise any of these concerns with you privately before he raised them publicly? And this is the guy you put in charge of cutting spending. Should people not take him?
And also, you gotta realize, the crazy leftists that have been burning his shit, they're gonna stop now. They're gonna be pro-Elon. You have to realize how insane this is. Every single person that was harassing him, they're gonna flip like this. Because really, they only have Trump derangement syndrome here. They're gonna flip instantly and be on his side. Like, I'm just saying, this is so interesting to watch the mainstream thought process completely cuck itself.
Seriously about spending now? Are you saying this is all sour grapes?
No, he worked hard and he did a good job. And I'll be honest, I think he misses the place. I think he got out there and he wasn't in this beautiful Oval Office. And he's got nice offices too. But there's something about this one. I was telling the Chancellor, this is where it is. People come in here, even from Germany. They come in and they walk into the Oval Office and it's just a special place.
Even your Fuhrer didn't have an office this nice.
You know, World War I, it started and it ended here, and World War II.
Oh, dude, why? Why are you doing this, bro? Why are you doing this in front of the Chancellor of Germany? Oh my God, bro is addicted to the flex.
So many other things. Everything big comes right from this beautiful space. It's now much more beautiful than it was 6 months ago. A lot of good things are happening in this room. And I'll tell you, he's not the first. People leave my administration and they love us. And then at some point they miss it so badly, and some of them embrace it and some of them actually become hostile. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome, I guess they call it. But
bro, no. People are going to read that as him saying that Elon has Trump derangement syndrome. And you know, he might have even meant it that way. Bro! Oh my God. I mean, obviously, Trump's offended. I mean, like, let's be real here. Trump's a man, balls of iron, all right, thin of steel. But he is very offended. I think from his perspective, he was stabbed in the back. He was stabbed in the back by his partner. I think that is how he sees it. And I think that's why he's getting, like, very touchy about it, realistically. And I think Elon kind of feels the same way.
We have it with others, too. They leave, they wake up.
I think that they will get out of this and they will still be friends. That's my guess. I think this is a sort of real beef that's half real, half theater, and it's gonna end up hilarious. That's my prediction. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe I'll be wrong.
In the morning, and the glamour's gone, the whole world is different, and they become hostile. I don't know what it is. Someday you'll write a book about it, you'll let us know. Yeah.
Mr. President, speaking of ending wars, you were very critical of Vladimir Putin a couple of days ago. What kind of play is he playing?
All right, good question. For those of you that are unaware, there is some insane Ukraine-Russia drama going on. Ukraine did a very successful attack on Russia. Russia says they're going to retaliate, and now Zelensky's like, let's do a peace treaty! And it's like, oh, no, you know he's not going to do a peace treaty. You know he's going to retaliate, you just bombed his fucking shit. All right, let's be real, obviously. Oh, God.
He got hit. He's been doing hitting, so I understand it. But he got hit hard.
Penetrated with the penis drone strike.
And I don't think he's playing games. I think I've always said he wanted.
It penetrated him deep into his nation. Incredibly deep into his nation.
The whole thing. I thought he wanted the entire, everything having to do with Ukraine. That's something that would have never happened if I were president. The election was rigged. I didn't get to be president, but I got to be president now. And I think it's a much more important presidency, other than a couple of things like that. The war would have never happened. The war with Ukraine, with Putin, would have never happened.
Yeah.
Ever. Not even a chance. And it didn't happen for 4 years. And it wasn't thought of. I used to talk to him about Ukraine a lot. It was the apple of his eye, but he would have never done what he did. And I think mistakes were made by him, but I think mistakes were made by other people.
Biden.
The French should have never allowed that war. Biden should have never allowed that to happen. If you had the right guy in here, that war would have never happened. Israel would have never happened with Hamas.
October 7th.
That would have never happened.
Never happened if I was president.
On Israel would have never happened.
Not if I was
because Iran was broke. They had no money. They had no money to give to Hamas or Hezbollah or anybody else. And all of that would have never happened. Inflation wouldn't have happened.
Wouldn't happen if I was president.
Energy. And the Biden administration messed up my great energy policy. We were down into $1.90 a gallon. And it would have never happened. It was caused by energy and their bad spending on the Green New Scam and other things that they spent.
He is going! Oh, Lord!
The war, Chancellor, with Russia would never have happened with Ukraine. It was something that would have, I dealt with Putin a lot. There was no chance, zero. And a lot of people say, how do you know? For 4 years it didn't happen. There was never a chance of it happening. And he understood the consequences. Now, it's a shame. And when you see all of those people, they came out with a report today that millions of people have died, much more than people thought. And I've been saying that for a long time. The amount of death in that war is far greater than the news has been reporting, or than, frankly, that either side has been reporting. It's a very sad thing. And I can tell you, just speaking for the Chancellor, because we speak about it, he feels the same way. He wants to see it ended. Would you like to?
Absolutely. And I'm here, Mr. President, to talk with you later on how we could contribute to that goal. And we all are looking for measures and for instruments to bring this terrible war.
Yeah, what are you contributing, bro?
And may I remind you that we are having June 6th tomorrow. This is D-Day anniversary.
No, wait, dude. They celebrate June 6th in Germany? No, there's no way. What? No.
When the Americans once ended the war.
Oh, it's gotta hurt, man. They celebrate America ending the war. I'm in shock, bro. Nah, dude. 1 second. I gotta grok this shit immediately. Hold up. Do they celebrate June 6 in Germany? Not a public holiday, not widely recognized event specifically tied to this date. However, certain events, I think June 6th notable for D-Day, Allied invasion of Normandy on June 6th in 1944. Yep! While it's a significant date in history, Germany does not formally celebrate. All right, June 6th, no major occurrences. All right.
In Europe, and I think this is in your hand in specific, in ours.
That was not a pleasant day for you?
No, that wasn't.
Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? No.
Not a pleasant.
This was not a great
in
day.
the long run, Mr.
Bro, Trump.
President, this was the liberation of my country from Nazi dictatorship.
That's true.
And
That's true. It was pretty good, sort of. Like, in a way, it was kind of good.
we know what we owe you. But this is the reason why I'm saying that America is again in a very strong position to do something on this war and ending this war. So,
bro, dude, that is so slimy and snaky. That is really slimy. He is saying, do you realize what's happening? Do you realize what is going on? He is saying that good job, America, for ending the war. You want America to get involved militarily in the war in Russia. That is exactly what you're saying. There is no two ways about it. Bro, way to make a point. Did you hear that?
But this is the reason why I'm saying that.
Yeah, why are you saying this?
America is again in a very strong position to do something on this war and ending this.
Yeah, how did America end the war on D-Day, huh? How did they end the war then? Let's be real here, brothers. Oh my God.
So let's talk about what we can do jointly, and we are ready to do what we can. And you know that we gave support to Ukraine, and that we are looking for more pressure on Russia. The European Union did, and we should talk about that.
We should talk about that. Bomb the shit out of Russia is what he's saying. Mobilize the American troops, send them to Russia. Yeah, we got it. All right. Save our ass, Mr. President. I see it. I don't know what Zelensky did to this guy in the blowjob room, but I don't know. That was a really slimy, snaky way to say it, I'm not gonna lie. I am not gonna lie. That's really slimy and snaky.
We will talk about it. And, it's good timing.
Dude, can you imagine if, like, Israel said that or something? Dude, people would lose their minds.
The numbers for our country are through the roof, the economic numbers, because of the election and because of tariffs and other things, a lot of things. But we've had some of the best numbers we've ever had.
True.
They were reported yesterday, the day before, and even today. Country's doing really well. I think that one of the things you'd be most interested in is that 6 months ago, we were having a hard time getting anybody to join our military. I mean, they just couldn't do it. The numbers were record low. We couldn't get people to join the military. It wasn't me. This was before I got there, the past administration. But 6 months ago, a year ago, the numbers were record low. You couldn't get them to join. That included the police. And you couldn't get them to join. Now, we just hit the highest number in the history of our country, we think, but very close, but the highest in the history of our country, recruitment. Joining the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, police forces all over the country.
What did you do for that? What was the reason?
Spirit. They love our country again.
All right.
We do the same thing. Spirit.
Mr. President,
we have great spirit is back in our country, and it's very simple. And, it was only, Susie, 6 months ago, right, that you got reports. You're the one that released them that you couldn't get anybody to join the military, and now we're stopped. Every service now is
not
packed.
wrong.
And we have waiting lists of people trying to get in, as good as we've ever had in the history of our country.
To be honest, he is completely correct. Yeah, he is not wrong. There is an honor in being an American that there wasn't for a very long time. Not even exaggerating, people are proud to be American. And I think that is one of the biggest W's Trump could have possibly had. Bro cucked that man really quickly. He shut him down very professionally. Holy shit.
So that's an honor. That's a great honor.
On the war.
You've had enough. Go ahead.
Enough of you! I heard you speak! No more! Shut the frick up, you bitch!
Mr. President,
right.
So would you consider to put more sanctions on Russia? Because this discussion is going on now for weeks and months, and you tweeted about it once, but then nothing happens. So
yeah, when I see the moment when we're not going to make a deal, when this thing won't stop,
is there a deadline
at that
for you?
moment, yeah, it's in my brain, the deadline. When I see the moment where it's not going to stop, and I'm sure you're going to do the same thing, we'll be very, very, very tough. And it could be on both countries, to be honest. You know, it takes two to tango. But we're going to be very tough. Whether it's Russia or anybody else, we're going to be very tough. That's a bloodbath that's going on over there. And when I see the moment where I say, well, they're going to just keep fighting. You know, I gave the analogy yesterday when I spoke to President Putin. I had a 2-hour and 15-minute call with him. Sometimes
anyone that says they had a 2-hour, 15-minute call was counting the minutes. Otherwise, you would just say 2 hours. All right? It was heated. It was heated as fuck. If it was a 2-hour and 15-minute call, that shit was heated. Now, I'm not a mentalist, okay? I'm not a mentalist, but I'm not gonna be real. If someone says I had a 2-hour and 15-minute conversation, you know that shit was heated.
And this is me speaking maybe in a negative sense, but sometimes you see two young children fighting like crazy. They hate each other and they're fighting in a park, and you try and pull them apart. They don't want to be pulled. Sometimes you're better off letting them fight for a while and then pulling them apart. And I gave that analogy to Putin yesterday. I said, President, maybe you're going to have to keep fighting and suffering a lot because both sides are suffering before you pull them apart, before they're able to.
People are going to twist this into him saying let them fight. I promise you, you are going to see a headline tomorrow from some fucking limp dick, cock-sucking, cockroach, far-left news site titled Trump tells Putin to let them fight. I'm telling you.
To be pulled apart, but it's a pretty known analogy. You have two kids, they fight. Sometimes
Boys do that shit, all right? I don't know, man. I feel like some feminists are not going to like this approach.
You let them fight for a little while. You see it in hockey. You see it in sports. The referees let
I like hockey. It's soon to be America's third national sport. I'm just saying, Canada, when you become the 51st state, we'll let you keep hockey.
Let them go for a couple of seconds. Let them go for a little while before you pull them apart. And maybe, and I said it, and maybe that's a negative.
Some feminist is going to be like, no, you're not allowed to let your kids fight. No, you must dress them in skirts and make them have tea together.
Because we're saying go, but a lot of bad blood. There's some bad blood between the two. I have to deal with it, and the Chancellor.
It's like talking about toddlers. It's crazy. It's like he wants his toys, and he does not want to share.
Has to deal with it. It's incredible. The level of there's a great hatred between those two men, but between the warring parties, great hatred.
What make you say and believe apparently that there's no immediate peace?
What?
That there's no immediate peace. There will no.
Well, I can't. I'd love to have immediate.
Bro, Ukraine just bombed them. They're gonna retaliate, okay? No fucking shit. They're gonna retaliate. They are stronger than Ukraine. Otherwise, the whole world wouldn't be giving Ukraine money. Obviously, Russia's stronger. Of course, they're gonna fight back. They were just humiliated. No, duh. They're gonna retaliate. Now Zelensky wants a peace deal because obviously, he gets a win-win. If he gets a peace treaty, then let's go. He got a peace treaty. If he doesn't get a peace treaty, then he gets to say, we wanted a peace treaty, and Putin attacked us. Which is like, it's a bit of a snake strategy, but let's be real. That's war, baby. That's how all of this happens. Two retards fighting.
If I could, but we don't have immediate, It's like, I'd love to have that. I'd like it to start. Right now, we would leave a room. If we knew the war could end, we'd say, forget about you guys, forget about trade, right? We'd say, let's go settle it. There's some additional fighting that's going to go on. He attacked, and they attacked pretty harshly.
Yep.
They went deep into Russia.
Yep.
And he actually told me,
Russia.
Very clear. He said, we have no choice but to attack based on that, and it's probably not going to be pretty. I don't like it. I said, don't do it. You shouldn't do it. You should stop it. But again, there's a lot of hatred. And, I'm very proud of the fact that with India and Pakistan, I was able to stop that. And those are nuclear powers. That was getting close to being out of hand. And I spoke to some very talented people on both sides, very good people on both sides. And I said, we're dealing with you on trade, Pakistan and India right now. I said, we're not going to deal with you on trade if you're going to go shooting each other and whipping out nuclear weapons that maybe even affect us.
He pulled out his little shriveled cock, and he pulled out his sandy, annoying, rough one, and I was like, put them away. Mine is bigger. Y'all want some of this one? And I slapped mine on the table, and the table snapped in half under the weight. So they just decided, you're so right, Mr. President. Yours is longer. It's orange. I like it a lot more than my own. And they made peace.
because, you know, that nuclear dust blows across oceans very quickly.
So true and real. So based and true and real and based. And I don't know why a popular sentiment right now from the pundit land, for some reason, pundit land is going wild. Pundit land is going insane, for those of you that are unaware. Let me show you. I don't even know. I don't know if I saved this one. Tucker Carlson just said, I don't know why we're against Iran. I don't know why we're against Iran. We have an ocean between us, and Iran is like, who knows if they're gonna get nukes. And then Khamenei, the leader of Iran, is like, you have nukes. We should have nukes too. And it's like, bro, stop. What are you talking about?
It affects us. And I said, if you're going to do that, we're not going to do any trade deals. And you know what? I got that war stopped. Now, I hope we don't go back and we find out that they signed it, but I don't think they will. They were both good. They were well represented. I want to congratulate both countries because, as you know...
I found the tweet. All right, so this is Tucker Carlson. All right, this was wild. He posted this today. You know, whatever. In fact, there is zero credible intelligence that suggests Iran is anywhere near building a bomb or has plans to. Anyone who claims otherwise is ignorant. And then the actual leader of Iran. You Americans possess atomic bombs and have massive destruction of the world at your disposal. What business is it of yours whether the Iranian nation should or shouldn't have uranium enrichment or whether it shouldn't? I don't know. What is that implying, brothers? That is definitely implying that they want a bomb. All right, let's be real, bro. Let's be real. That's a bit of a yikes.
The leader of India, who's a great guy, was here a few weeks ago. We had some great talks. We're doing a trade deal. And Pakistan, likewise. They have very, very strong leadership. Some people won't like when I say that, but, you know, it is what it is.
Right.
And they stopped that war. Now, am I going to get credit? I'm not going to get credit for anything. They don't give me credit, but nobody else could have done it. I stopped it.
It was me, no one else, all me.
I wish we could do the same thing with Ukraine and Russia. And at some point it'll happen. I believe that. And if it doesn't happen, or if I see somebody's out of line, if Russia's out of line, we'll be... You'll be amazed how
strong
tough.
Words.
Remember this.
All right.
They like to say that I'm friends with Russia. I'm not friends with anybody. I'm friends with you. I'm not friends with that.
I'm not friends with you. Remember that, bro.
The right thing to happen for our country, for everybody, for humanity. But I'm the one that stopped the pipeline. It's called Nord Stream 2. Until I came along, nobody ever heard, not one person in this room ever heard of Nord Stream 2. You probably did, because it went to Germany.
True. This was a mistake.
But I stopped him. I stopped it. Yeah, and you've said that openly. Yeah. It was a mistake because, and I used to go with Angela. I'd say, well, wait a minute. We're spending all this money to defend you against Russia, and then you're giving Russia billions of dollars a month. What kind of a deal is that? You know, which was, but you said it better than anybody else. I appreciate it. But I'm the one that stopped it. And that was the biggest economic development job, if you want to call it that, in the history, think of it, in the history of Russia.
God
it was
damn.
A massive, it's the biggest pipeline in the world.
Bro, the self-blades is insane.
Not only to Germany. You know, they're Germany, but then they were branching off all over to Europe. Nobody ever heard of, not one person of you heard of it. And I stopped it. It was dead. And then they say, I'm friends with Putin. I got along. He respected me. I respected him. It would have never happened.
The Russia shit is still going.
When Biden came in, almost the first week, he approved it. He let it be built. And then they say that I wasn't tough on Russia. Putin said to me, you know, you're not tough on Russia. You stopped the biggest, most important job we've ever done. You stopped it. And Biden came in and he let it be built. And I'll tell you what, I'll never forget the day. I had it totally stopped. They weren't building. They gave up.
Then Biden came.
They weren't able to. And then Biden came in and he let him build. I couldn't believe it. Okay, one or two questions more. Any question for the Chancellor?
Dude, I love how Trump feels bad. He's like, yo, y'all just talking to me. He literally flew all the way here to answer some questions. You're talking to me about Russia and Elon Musk. Like, come on, dog.
Go ahead for the Chancellor. I like his answers, but
no one has any questions for him. It's silent. Dude, it's crazy. Dude flew in. The press is here. No one has a single question for him.
Would you continue to support Ukraine?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Of course. Someone had to fill the silence. Will you support Ukraine?
I'm with Ukraine. We just signed a big deal on rare earth with Ukraine. And
Trump answers it.
You know what? I'm for stopping killing, really. That's what I'm for. Again, a war that would have never started, should have never started.
And then Trump
We spent $350 billion, much more than Europe, but Europe spent a lot also. And they spent way over $100 billion. So you're talking about close to $500 billion went into that whole thing. And it's not even the money. And I know with you too, it's a lot of money. But it's the death that's being caused. We went to the Middle East. I went last week to the Middle East. We took in $5.1 trillion. That's
crazy.
Many, many times. That's 30, 40 times, 50 times.
There's a lot of dying and a lot of shooting.
Think of that, $5.1 trillion of investment with one trip that lasted 4 days. So it's not the money.
It's about
a little
dying.
Money, but not the money, the big thing. The big thing is the death. The death of, and really the decimation. You've lost a whole culture. You know, Ukraine had the most beautiful turrets. They call them turrets.
Spires.
Little towers. The most beautiful in the world. They're all now laying on their side, blown to smithereens. It'll never happen again. They've taken away the culture of a country. They've taken away the heritage of a country. It's a terrible thing. But most importantly, again, is the death. 5,000 plus people a week, soldiers, are being killed. He doesn't want that, and I don't want that. Yeah, please.
All right.
Mr. President, do you support the Graham bill, putting high tariffs?
I have not looked at it, but they'll be guided by...
They keep asking Trump questions. Trump even said, guys, please, I am begging you guys, please ask the German Chancellor some questions. He literally flew here. And they're like, of course. Anyway, let's talk about, let's ask Trump more questions. It's unbelievable.
That's the way it's supposed to be. They're going to be guided by me. No, I haven't looked at it. It's a bill on sanctions, etc. I'm a very quick study. At the right time, I'll do what I want to do. But it could very well be okay. I'll have to see. But they're waiting for me to decide on what to do. And I'll know maybe very soon. It's a harsh bill. Yeah, very harsh.
How about one more autopen?
Go ahead.
I would like to have a response. Please. Do you agree with the analogy the president made on the war between Russia and Ukraine as being a fight between two kids? Is that how you...
I told you. I literally told... They didn't even wait a day. I said wait a day and they're going to spin that. They spun it immediately. They literally spun it immediately. When we said war between two kids, Mr. Chancellor, do you agree with this sentiment? Is that what you are saying as well?
With that as well?
Oh my God.
What do you actually want the U.S. to do in this?
Well, I think we both agree on this war and how terrible this war is going on.
What a cocksucker, man. I think we both agree. We both agree war bad, people dying bad. Now I say we continue the war and he wants to end it.
And we are both looking for
a solution.
Ways to stop it.
All right. Now his way is stopping it through victory in battle. All right. That's how he wants to stop it. He wants to stop it. He just wants a peace treaty. So no, you guys disagree on the fundamental course of action here.
And I told the president before we came in that he is the key person in the world who can really do that now by
how do you want
putting
to do it?
Pressure on Russia.
Pressure on Russia. It's everyone has the same playbook. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, look, I don't like Russia. I really think Russia is the aggressor here. I do. I know that obviously I have people in my audience that don't see it that way. I really do. But he just immediately drops that shit.
And we will have this debate later on again.
And Trump is like, yep, I know, you want war, I get it.
Proceed jointly between the Europeans and the Americans. And I think we are all we are having the duty to do something on that now to stop it. After 3.5 years, which is really terrible. Look at the kids, the kids which were kidnapped from Ukraine to Russia. This is all terrible.
It is terrible.
We are
He's
talking
right.
about instruments, measures, what we can do, and my personal view is clear on that. We are on the side of Ukraine, and we are trying to get them stronger and stronger just to make Putin stop this war.
He really thinks the solution to Putin stopping the war is adding troops and weapons and money to Ukraine so that Ukraine could keep fighting a war that Zelensky realistically doesn't want to end because they want to reconquer all captured territory. Like, dude, I feel like the bad guy when I say this, but I also feel like the only non-retard in the room. All right? Russia will not give what Ukraine captured back, and Ukraine will never get that back. So Ukraine seems to keep wanting to incite the rest of the world to get involved in the war, because unless there's a World War III where every nation gets involved, Ukraine is not capturing that shit back. They're not. I don't want to be rude here. I hate that Russia took it, okay? I do. But wake up for a second. They're not getting it back unless the world gets involved. It is so frustrating watching like man children have these discussions, and I really feel like they're having these discussions so that to sway public opinion, because everyone wants the good guys to win. Whoever the good guys are in your worldview, everyone wants the good guys to win. There is no good guys winning here, okay? It's gonna be shit no matter what happens. Now pick the least shit of the shit options.
This is all wrong.
We get satellite pictures of the warfield, and
people dying.
You don't even like to look at them, right?
It's terrible.
So,
it's really
bodies, arms, heads, legs, all over the place. You've never seen anything like it. It's so ridiculous.
And this is only by Russian weapons against Ukraine. This had never.
Bro, every single European leader that comes to America sits with Trump and tries so hard to get Trump to say Putin bad, Russia bad, Putin bad and Russia bad, and lame and gay and retarded. They're all trying so hard to do it.
Never happened with Ukraine weapons against Russia. Never. Ukraine is only targeting military targets, not civilians, not private, not energy.
I mean, whatever. We could get, this is like such a deep debate, like such a deep and long debate. I just saw a video on Twitter. Again, I don't know if it's true. I just saw a video on Twitter of Ukraine. Basically, if someone didn't want to join the Ukrainian military and they executed them for desertion and shit. Like, it is a brutal war. It's so bad. It's so bad. I do think Russia's the aggressor, but it is so awful.
So this is the difference, and that's the reason why we are trying to do more on Russia, how to stop this war.
Well, in this case, I'm talking about the battlefield, you know, the soldiers on soldiers. But you could also say that, too, with the cities. You know, the cities are being hit also. So it's a terrible, terrible thing. Right? Nobody said autopen.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Because I think it's the biggest scandal maybe in the last 100 years in this country. So when I hear that word, I think it has to be just...
Wait, what word?
Autopen.
Autopen, oh no.
Because I think it's the biggest scandal maybe in the last 100 years in this country. So when I hear that word, I think it has to be discussed because... the fake news will try and, you know, hide it. And
it's true. You don't see CNN talking about the biggest scandal in American history. You don't see them talking about this shit. They're just like, I can't believe Trump used words that we don't like.
Can't do that.
Have you uncovered any evidence that anything specific was signed without President Biden's knowledge or by other people acting illegally?
No.
Well, I don't think Biden would know whether or not he signed it.
Such a good answer. Such a good answer. Nothing was signed by his knowledge. He's a retard.
I'm asking if you've uncovered any of that information.
No, but I've uncovered, you know, the human mind. I was in a debate with the human mind, and I didn't think he knew what the hell he was doing. So, you know, it's just one of those things, one of those problems. We can't ever allow that to happen to our country. The danger our country was in, and I know some of the people that worked with him, radical left, horrible people. And I could give you the name of some of the people that use the autopen because I'm here and I ask questions about people that were here also. There are a lot of people that were here when that happened and they're here right now and they'll answer your question very accurately. But I know some of the people that use that autopen and those are not the people that had the same ideology as Joe Biden. These were radical left lunatics that used that and they didn't get elected. He didn't get elected either, actually. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
So I got some people asking me about what I said about footage of Russian people shooting deserters. Again, I am not saying that this is, I'm just telling you what I've seen. All right, it's Alex Jones. All right, listen, guys. All right, let's be real. So apparently, this is a video footage. Editor, blur this for the YouTube video. But this is video footage of Ukrainian people shooting deserters that didn't want to go to the military. NATO-backed Russian Ukrainian military caught by a Russian drone's camera executing deserters. Whatever you want to say. I don't know. Propaganda, yes. Propaganda, no. I'm just saying it's a very complex issue, and people are making it so not nuanced. People are making it so not nuanced, and it's sad. Anyway, apparently there is more trouble in MAGA world. All right. So apparently Elon Musk unfollowed Charlie Kirk. Elon Musk tweeted, "Is it time that we make our own new political party in America that actually represents the 80% in the middle?" Oh my God, it's gonna be a bloodbath. I am so ready for this shit. I'm not gonna lie. Oh my Lord, infinite drama. Holy. Oh God, it's gonna be crazy. Anyway, who knows where this will turn out? It's gonna be fun, whatever happens. Oh, you know me, we are gonna laugh at the retards, whatever happens. Whatever happens, we will laugh at the retards whenever we can. And it's gonna be fun. So I'll see you in the next one, gamers. Regardless, the shit's gonna be insane. And I'm gonna cover all of it. So, who knows? Who knows? Bye, gamers.
Context, holy shit.
like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.